Hola, 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 ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to ZSR and welcome to the Link to the Past Randomizer Crosskeys Tournament 2021. We're deep into Swiss stage. It's Swiss round 6, and we have a banger tonight. We have zelgadissan versus Dr. Marty Zero, and this is going to be the 4-1 matchup, and it's going to be a great one. I'm sure and I'm positive you'll all enjoy it. I'm going to enjoy watching it, and I'm sure our commentators will enjoy commentating it, and that's Excalibur and Scholze. Take it away.
Thank you very much for the high energy introduction. We're going to need that. I think at least 3 of the people involved in this are in Europe. This is a bit of a late night rando for us, but it's a lovely night here. Let's watch some Randomizer. Do you have a favorite?
This will be a banger. Both of them being 4-1. Sega lost his first game against Goomba, who's now at 6-0, and Dr. Mario had to throw a game off against me. And I'm currently 5-0, so this is a really spicy game. Both of them could have easily made it to the 5-0 bracket, but lost the match due to not being lucky.
One of those good reasons. I expect to see high caliber play, and of course these guys are good friends. They've been playing on the same ALttPR league team for years, and so I don't know if they will metagame harder against each other, or they're just gonna like go hard and hope it all works out.
Yeah, metagaming in Crosskeys is kind of hard because obviously there's so much different that you can only expect some stuff out of the other guy. For example, we all know that Sega doesn't like Ethan Palace and he never gonna dip it. He always gonna last create that one, so he can at least get that information. But I don't know much about Dr. Mario. It's gonna be an interesting game for sure. I'm hyped.
So a Swiss tournament is one where each runner plays every week for 8 weeks. In this case, 8 weeks. And in each week, they're matched up with another player with the same record. And then at the end, we're going to cut to a bracket. All right, looks like both runners starting at Link's house. I think this has been coming back into fashion. Oh, except Dr. Marty is a castle starter.
Yeah.
I feel like in this year's tournament, I've seen more Houlihan than I did last year. I don't know if I'm just watching different people or what, but
yeah, a lot of people doing Houlihan to get a consistent starting of a Crosskeys siege, which gives you money, and out of the way instant location, and a drop down.
Yeah, I mean, there's the only thing you really hope is that the drop down isn't the sanctuary, because then you get to feel dumb.
Or the bell, that for that matter, because you want bombs for that one.
You hope that it all works out. We see Ganon at the castle, which is a fine place to find it, because you never have to go, like, it saves you the big long walk around the outside of that castle, while being not too terrible for actually finding Ganon eventually.
Yeah, funny interesting thing logic-wise is here that the Hydro Castle front and then which is Spy Cave, is not only knocked behind a glove and a hammer today and invincibility item, but also getting either through Ganon or getting the mirror to actually get to the front of Hydro Castle.
Yeah, there's an anti-screwing yourself logical step to prevent you from getting trapped by the portal at the front of the thing. And Dane is of course correct that a connector to the top of the castle also puts it in logic. And a hammer in the well.
Always good to find, especially if you don't have a sword. Any weapon early helps you really out. Gets enemies killed for some times maybe. Already found a castle tower small key, and we have thankfully at Lumberjack, I think, if I can recall correctly.
So that means that this is likely a seed where we're going to see either shenanigans to get to the back to deal with key logic, or the castle sewers key become relevant. I would be surprised if we beat Ag, despite the fact that logic probably thinks we should.
I hope we don't have to fight Egger. That's would be pretty rare, but also really unlikely and slow.
Yeah. It's worth noting that Dr. Marty found a money farm in Lost Woods and chose to get it out of there a couple times to farm up. It looks like 100 rupees.
Yeah, it's now really interesting to find out how long Dr. Mario wants to actually put off Kakariko Well at that spot, because one, it's the Kakariko Well and you want to do it early, and second, there's a hammer there, and that might be quite early.
Yeah, the hammer's certainly a good find. I would assume, given that Dr. Marty started...
oh my gosh.
Uh,
That's the other castle tower's Moiki. Game, please.
What you're saying is the game is really logically insistent that we need to do the back of escape. If I saw both Castle Tower small keys in the first 10 minutes, I would be very excited to go through do the back of escape from the front pretty aggressively.
I mean, what actually could happen is that we don't find any Hyrule Castle entrance in the Light World. We have to kill Aga 1 to get Lumberjack to get the Lumberjack entrance, fall down the back of escape to get our Moon Pearl out of it, which would be really good, and I would love to see it.
You are a cruel runner. You're a cruel player when other people are playing. I'm sure you wouldn't enjoy that if it was your seed.
I would enjoy it if it would not be a tournament seed, probably. But having such things happening, Crosskeys are one of the most enjoyable things I have in Crosskeys. Such logical, ridiculous things that could happen.
I believe you saw the race on Tuesday with Hitsuyan versus Dataplet.
I checked for it, yes. I saw that one. That was... you mean that 7 connector to Moonpearl one?
Yes, that one.
Was a good one.
Yes. It turns out sometimes you have to follow connectors. You have to follow them a long way. Both runners with knowledge of where Ganon is are perfectly willing to just throw themselves into drop-down holes. On the other hand, Marty looks like he's going to put off Paradox for a little bit. Probably do it at the end of his village checks.
Yeah, he can always buy bombs if he chooses to do Paradox Cave here. Let's see if Sega follows the Sewer Bunny Cave connector here. I think we saw the one for 2 items, and he chooses to leave. So there might be an important item there which we will not see for a long time.
Yeah, I can't imagine they're going to put off Super Bunny forever, but I can see waiting until your next save and quit to chase that connector.
Yeah, especially with that fluid we already found. So you can get back to connectors more easily now.
Yeah.
But that will also put Dr. Mario a lot closer to getting his hammer out of that one instance, because now he has actually a reason to go over to Witcher.
Yeah.
Do all that stuff. That's good for him.
Yeah, it's I don't know how good he is at setting up Fig Flipper north of the Witch's Hut. If he doesn't habitually start with the Houlihan opening, I can imagine that he's not quite as polished on it as some runners are. Hey, here's bombs.
Oh, I see now in the Attacker we actually have a button if the flute is activated. That's new. I never saw that one before.
Yes, we have improvements to the tracker since last week. Because Trey's basically got sick of sitting in chat and watching people ask if the mushroom had been turned in. So
yeah, people make us more sick. Ask for more stuff. Always.
So that's useless fairy at the Smith drops. The lack of hammer isn't going to hurt Marty there. We also have the other new thing on the tracker is that the males are now tracked, which it used to be that would be a funny joke, but given that we have given that we now have a bunch of sprites that don't turn from green to blue to red, it was added.
Okay, let's see what we have in Paradox Cave. I expected to see it from Dr. Matteo earlier, but now we have Sega on it, and Dr. Mario instead finds his first bottle, which is already filled with blue goo.
And Marty has actually found 2 different ways into Paradox Cave. And still haven't gotten the items out of there. And here is the other end of Super Bunny. So I guess we're not going to follow that connector either.
Yeah. It would have not been bad to follow it the first time. You would have done Kakariko from south to bottom and not top south, top to bottom. So it didn't really matter in the end.
And it looks like the most relevant thing in here, besides the Kastarki, which is somewhere else, but is the flippers.
Flippers, one pot small key, and a swamp is big key, which is nice to have early and have before clearing Swampiness.
Yeah. And having a couple of pod spells in hand also means that when we eventually find pod, we can go in and get quite a few things. Speaking of places we can go in and get stuff, GTs. Good value.
So there's one place the hammer could actually be useful. Not logically right now, we need a hookshot for the left side, but we can at least get to Fortress easily with 2 bomb jumps. But without a thought, it's still pretty hard, so I'm not sure if Sega goes for it, but I can see it.
So Marty is not only not interested in going and getting the Stealthless Room chests, he wasn't even interested in peeking the torch. So...
yeah. You expect to come back here somewhat early-ish, cause it's so close to a flute point that you don't really take a huge risk skipping that item.
Yes, absolutely true. It looks like with flute in hand, Marty's going to start with Paradox Cave.
Also getting his Sashes, Swamp and his Bicky, and some pair of flippers. And let's see where the bottom of the connector goes.
The other option is Marty might just save and quit out of here, because there's... and just dodge the mini mold arms.
Yeah, you probably want to know where it leads, even if it's somewhere in the Dark World. That information can be really useful in the mid-game to help you routing things better. But that mini bottoms are not playing nicely today, but that text box really helped him out to killing at least one of them.
Gives you time to think as well. Looks like he is interested in connector following. That's not how you're supposed to use the bombs. You're supposed to throw them at the bad guys and not just hold them above your head. Bomb mini mold arms.
But he gets it.
So troll.
He has to buy new bombs now, but he still has enough money to buy them.
You can even go get them right here, but it looks like he's just interested in where this goes. And it's the Turtle Rock Ledge, which is one of
connected
the
to
more...
GR.
So it is always the case that the right entrance on the ledge there is a connector rather.
I don't think it has to be a connector, just one of them has to be.
Unless that has changed quite recently.
Okay.
It's always the right one has to be a connector.
Okay, I didn't know about that one. But
so
it might be. I don't know why it would be, but it...
So I actually worked on the code for this a little bit, and it turns out that it's just a pain, and nobody's coded it. It would be the only exit-only location which had multiple choices, and when it was first implemented, the coder just was like, the right one. So
I wonder how that works for inverted Crosskeys then, for the Desert Palace instances. The left and the top one.
I would have to check. I had a look at the inverted code when it was getting implemented, but I haven't actually checked in a while.
Not that it's getting played, but it would be nice to know. Oh, he doesn't. Oh, he gets bombs here.
I mean, the primary existence for inverted Crosskeys to exist is for mystery, right? So.
Yeah, and for me sometimes when I actually choose to zone a scene. But let's see if Sega follows GT here for a bit. Probably expect to only check 4 chests here. Don't have enough health to do more bomb terms.
The GT Big Key in Hope Room is potentially leading things. Ice Rod on Torch.
That's probably required.
I mean, it probably being required means that probably we could see some boots this seed. So.
Yeah. What do we have? What do we have left for top downs? I only know we have not saw the sanctuary one, but it's either.
Yeah.
Have you seen the uncle? Have we seen Uncle?
We've seen Uncle. We've seen Well. We've seen Ganon. We've seen Useless Fairy. So all the remaining drops are single item drops.
Is it a fairy one or just an item that you can see? I'm not quite sure.
I don't know. We have seen Useless Fairy, so it's the one in the pyramid is some unlookable single item drop.
Oh, a big key for Desert Palace. And a Swamp Palace more key. So Swamp Palace is locked behind Hookshot, that's good information.
It's I guess it's not the best dive to go looking for a hookshot anyway, but
at least you know it cannot be in
yes.
there.
Yeah. And with 2 Aga keys in hand, Dr. Marty is off to at least get to the second chest. We'll see if having been thrown 2 small keys in the first 15 minutes has spooked him into actually beating Aghanim.
Yeah, he could try to do that, but he will not.
He doesn't have a sword.
Because he needs the sword to cut a curtain. Did he get lost or did he actually pick up the item?
He picked it up, it was Blue Mail.
Oh.
Yeah, you can see the stylish Blue Mail outfit of base Link. Dr. Marty living large with base skin and also vanilla music.
Yeah, speaking about the base game item, like, we all have throwbacks to Tuesday. We don't hope we have to reach a connector today, but it could happen again.
Speaking of connectors, I actually think zelgadissan used the magic connector, otherwise known as the flute, but it makes its way up to the mountain, and the first chest in Thieves Town is our Moon Pearl.
I guess he just flew to the mountain.
Yeah. The flute is the best thing, the best Crosskeys connector. Whereas Marty's following Flipper logic and is off to go check the Flipper checks.
Yeah, early flippers might tell you that there's something behind flippers, but it doesn't have to be something behind flippers.
Yeah.
And we only need a glove to actually have normal dark mode access, so almost the whole world is now open to us.
Yeah, which can lead to very divergent, to not close races, divergent runners, but let's hope that this race stays close.
Yeah, the more choices you have, probably makes it easier for the runner who has the better routing experience. If you see it's more linear, then the more execution heavy opponent is favored.
Fair.
So I like those open seats more because you have so much more choice that you can do. I really love an early flute in Crosskeys because you can jump to so many places so quickly and have like 5 options when you find the flute.
Yeah.
So interesting to play.
So zelgadissan finds Hookshot at the first of the Death Mountain dropdowns and chooses to bomb open one of the 2 walls. Not sure of that choice, but
just bombing it up to maybe come back later because you have like a thinking time. Do I actually want to do this now, or do I wait for it later?
So I believe that this is the Old Man Rescue Cave. Zelga leaving behind some breadcrumbs to keep track of where he is.
Yeah, we will probably see an Old Man spawn point check, like after zelgadissan probably checks Darkwood instance here, or might just go ahead and do it after saving the Old Man. Because that is useful information that can save you a lot of time. If you get a spawn in a dark void, for example.
Yeah, I mean, with flute in hand, it's tempting to just fly around and not save and quit at all. But
yeah, especially if you have flute and mirror, you have like no chances to actually get a save and quit point.
Yeah,
that's sometimes really annoying. I want to get my save and quit point, but I cannot find any.
Well, and the old man, of course, can be your logical access to exit-only locations or to the mire or something.
Yeah, or just to the dark world at this point. We need a lamp, but could be logical access to the dark world.
The lamp can often bury itself shockingly deep in logic. Dark World West Death Mountain has a thing today. Air is here. We can't do anything exciting in here yet, so we'll just get our 2 items and go home. But
we could get cage ourselves in Hella. That's always fun.
Were you the one that did that a couple weeks ago?
Maybe.
Okay. Some runner that should know better, which I'm pretty sure is you, went and got themselves stuck in a cage.
I know that you commented on that match.
I did, yeah.
Oh, another good one. Wait, we already saw the exit.
Yeah, we already saw Laser Eye entrance, but it looks like that's where Zelda wants to go again, so off we go.
Yeah, Dr. Mario found it, so...
Oh, and Dane, one of our trackers for tonight, reminding us that the old man save and quit is right next to the sanctuary. So, but with mirror in hand, that's good remembering by Zelda. Coming back, doing the mimic entrance, which is dead, and also can now mirror back, go over, check the left ledge here, and then hop down and get East Death Mountain. That was good memory by Zelda. You've already seen that.
Hopefully. Oh, Dr. Mario chooses to further connector, so he might miss out on the flute for that mirror a long time.
Yeah.
That could be very bad if the mirror locks good progression like boots, for example. Dark Spawn.
Did the spiral cave lead to the top of the mountain?
No, there was another connector. Wait.
Yes, the left drop down there led back up to the top of the mountain. Yeah.
Yeah, and Dr. Mario finds the Maya there. He would love to have a mirror right now, but it's on Sega side only.
Right.
And he chooses to clear the entirety of the Darkness Mountain. Chooses to check that thing instance instead of the Darkness Mountain instances. It's a choice 1 against 2.
I mean, this is 2, and the Dark Death Mountain is also 2 without bits. So.
Yeah. Also, there was a hookshot on the floating island. Definitive a hookshot. We will probably see it on Dr. Mario outside in a few seconds. Again. As he chooses to actually check the dark world now.
And then that hookshot is going to make both runners more excited to follow connectors. Because the only way up there, once they have mirror in hand, because the only way up there is via connector and mirroring.
Yeah, Dr. Mario found another connector with the set left in the Maya there, so that could be very interesting, especially if the hookshot is not locked behind that said connector. Because you have to walk through hookshot cave to get to hookshot, which could happen and would be very annoying.
Yes. I mean, the hookshot cave connector isn't too terrible, and so you're not entirely miserable to follow it. It's not in the best spot. Like, it's hard to get to. You have to walk halfway up the mountain. But ZelgaDissan is usually better at laser skips than this.
Yeah. I mean, it's the tournament stats always comes into play, even probably for a player like Zelda.
That's fair.
But laser skips can be hard.
Yeah, I mean, bootsless low health laser skips are not free, which is why, in fact, they're not even required logically. But if you want to go fast, you do them. So
yeah, and we get a little bit of divergence here. Dr. Mario choosing to follow Miller to the top of the mountain. There wasn't anything exciting on Speclock, but let's see what Heather can give us today.
One with the hammer in hand, you can traverse the top here.
Yeah, you can scare that spider thingies that I always forget the name of away with the hammer at least, to give yourself a little bit more time, a little bit easier time to dodge them. I know that it works with the sword and the hammer. I don't know with other items.
Pectites are the jumping spider things with 4 legs.
Yeah, I always forget the name. I just call them spiders. Even though
they're one of 3 enemies in the entire game I can remember the name of. So, alright, zelgadissan checking the out of logic Spec-Rock entrance.
What? Why do we have so many connects already?
Well, mark them all down and figure out what order you're going to get back to them. Because none of them are particularly easy to get to. But with flute already, the biggest thing we're looking for is the connector that leads to floating.
Map of Swamp Palace.
Was that Spec-Rock lower at the Light World entrance where the Spec-Rock Peak entrance was? Like literally same entrance, Light World, Dark World? Huh.
No, because Spec-Rock is normally on Westus Mount.
Yeah, I know. I believe that the 2 Spec-Rock entrances in this particular Crosskeys shuffle are Light and Dark World analogs of each other.
Oh yeah, that takes simplification. So Sega chooses to clear Front of Escape here. I cannot say I like that play. You have 2 Agatowa's more keys. You have the back of Escape locked behind maybe the 2 Agatowa's more keys. And
yeah.
You cannot steal the key here.
And it's been a long enough time. You're not going to save scum this.
Yeah, so we might see an Aga kill on Sega's side because he chooses to not steal a small key.
That's bold.
Yeah, especially because you found 2 Agatowa small keys already, and now we have even an easy Hirokasa entrance to get into.
Yeah.
So this could be very interesting if Dr. Mario shoots against it and maybe even steals his Monkey Light off and says no to Zelda Cell. And the other one is also pretty accessible. Only have to loot away.
Yeah. The other question is, I guess both of them have spent down below 500 rupees. They've spent a little bit of money on bombs for this seed, but it's always sad when you are like, he got spat out a waterfall fairy with flippers in hand and was like, ah, fuck, I can't even do Zora right now.
Let's see what Dr. Mario chooses if he goes the same way as Sega.
On the one hand, I agree with that, Dane. On the other hand, yeah, no, I agree with you. I don't think they've seen Spec-Rock lower, but I might have missed it.
Nah, they don't saw that one. Did we saw a Cape Connector, bumper Cape Connector already?
We did.
Yeah, we did.
That was at the middle drop down, the Light World, the Rock Escape.
Okay. We might even see 2 Agatocles today.
Yeah, I am unconvinced by this choice by both runners. But they're good and I'm not. So, but if you're not convinced and I'm not convinced, I think we should not convince our audience.
Yeah, I mean, you need a lamp to logically get to the back of escape, and you might just find out to cut the monkey early. But
I mean, either way, you need the lamp. You need the lamp to get to Aga 1, and you need the lamp to get to the back logically.
like, I really like the sequence like of back of escape in this seed.
Yeah.
Like,
well, there's 2
Agatocles monkeys is really suspicious.
The Zelda cell item is out of logic without the sewer key in this case anyway. So I'm much more interested in the 3 or 4 items at the back than I am in the 1 item in Zelda's cell.
It just feels so awkward doing that.
Yeah.
Knowing you have 2 Agatocles monkeys. Without 2 Agatocles monkeys, I'm still convinced about that play. But oh, and Sega follows the hookshot cave connector. Let's focus on other things in the lead. We will maybe come back later to back of escape, which could be important.
And if this goes nowhere, I wouldn't be surprised to see Zelgadissan walk back through and carry on from there. But Meyer area, you're going to go check out.
Yeah, and Dr. Mario on the other side shows us what the other connection of, how's it called, Spectacle Lock Cave leads to. Could be hookshot. And he really hopes so. He hovered over his floating island cave with his mouse, but that he wasn't. And he's probably gonna check the Disappearance alley here right now as well.
Nice. 5 item check here. Finding a connector to Meyer with the mirror in hand is always the nice, dense part of the world.
What do we have left for dense parts? Don't think we have that much left. We haven't found a single good connector in the dark world, and we don't have regular dark world access.
Yeah.
So we have to find one eventually that takes us to the dark world, but that one could also just be in the dark world.
Yeah, I mean,
on the other side, we found a desert palace connector in the dark world here, so that's probably the biggest reason why Marty chooses to go back here.
Zelgadissan mirror box coming out of the north exit of Desert Palace. That's not the most convenient place to mirror in and out of without a pair of gloves.
And the only way to avoid that one is by carrying a bomb.
Yep.
And
does a Smarria block not do it too?
Yeah, just something to hold over your head. Could also be a skull, but we don't find any skulls in the overworld, sadly. Also nice picking up that 15 bombs upside before doing mini modem cave with bombs.
Yes. So I would expect the runners to head into desert after finishing the Meyer area clear.
Yeah,
right.
Especially with the knowledge about the hookshot, you need to follow connectors. Hookshot is such a valuable item. If you don't have boots, it gets you to stuff quicker, because you can hook yourself all over the world, and it gives you 4 items directly. And it also unlocks stuff in GT.
Yeah, with the hammer already in hand, that hookshot is effectively something like, what, 12 items?
There was a Desert Palace big key on left side. So let's see if that one is any... That is important.
If there is a logical double dip in there, in this seed.
Okay, good. We have good emergency. We have a Desert Palace small key on Dr. Mario's side and a Desert Palace big key on Sega's side. I can't recall where Marty found his Desert Palace small.
Me neither.
Wait, Sega has it too.
No.
It's just not marked on the Sega.
Oop. I have the tracker open, so I fixed it. And we have go with big key, another fetch quest big key. The big chest had a Meyer small key in it, which may indicate a logical progression, but of course Meyer small keys are a waste of time. So
yeah, and we already have one, so that key is totally garbage. But that one is more useful. He has more key, always good to have, especially if you have none.
The first two I guess are useful in most Crosskeys races, and
yeah,
then
it gets less interesting because we already found the connectors, but
yeah,
not bad to have. You can skip time by not killing a pokey.
Yeah,
always nice to have.
Especially if you're trying to do that without things that kill pokies efficiently. So that's a connected to Village of Outcasts at Desert Right. But we're going back in and seeing if our third option is better yet. It feels a little bit greedy on Zelga's part, but I guess we'll make these hook shot potential checks pretty aggressively. Looks like they're both doing it. And
of course it bets you out at the Dark World.
Yeah, a really inconvenient part of the Dark World.
What's the bomb? What's the bomb shop? I totally missed on Marty's side. We have Port and Skabutz as our Dark Sisters today. And Dr. Mario not having visited the top of the Dark World yet, checks his analysis to see that he could have gone here on another way.
I think this is actually just a drop down check.
Sega checks the. Oh yeah, he doesn't even know it because
he's going out the third way of Spectacle Rock, which
he followed the connector now to get onto Darkness Mountain again.
Yes.
The seed.
Swings and roundabouts. He's going to be kind of grouchy. And here's yet another connector to Darkness Mountain. We have lots of connectors pointing to the mountain, and only that one desert exit in the main part of Dark World.
Okay, what do we have left for connectors? We found everything from Paradox. We have the Diagonal connector, Feather Extension Cave.
We've got this one that Dr. Marty is checking. In fact, both of them are checking, which is the back door of Old Man.
Oh yeah. Like that I mentioned 20 minutes ago.
Yep. It's yet another way to Death Mountain.
And still not the right one.
No. And both the runners, I feel, sarcastically mirroring so they can catch the Duck Express back to somewhere useful. So
Sega goes for Bridge of Outcasts again, probably. That is a long way. And Dr. Mighty chooses, nah, I'm good. I'm just checking other stuff in Night World and hope to find another connector. Well, I can see both plays. Both plays are fine.
Yeah. I mean, the argument in favor of going back to the Dark World is you have a mirror in hand and you can make checks more efficiently. The argument, I think, against it is that this is a long flippin' walk. So, and Marty already got spat out in the eastern area, so I might as well check these. Choosing not to use his hammer to defeat enemies, instead trying to use his face, which doesn't work.
Yeah. They have a blue mace, so he can try not to use his face as a weapon until he dies. That's another connector, and we are almost out of logical stuff to do in the Light World. Like, he's missing some rupees for water checks, so I don't expect to see them just yet on Marty's side. It used to buy another upgrade with 100 rupees, so that's holding him off a little bit.
Yeah, I think Dr. Marty's probably spent like 200 rupees so far this game buying bombs because they haven't gotten very lucky with weapons so far this seed. The hammer, of course, does a lot of damage. Hitbox sucks. So,
and that's another connector down that list.
Unfortunately, we've seen both sides of Bumper Cave now, so that saves Marty going back and checking that. All right, let's see if these Village of Outcasts checks amount to anything.
Going to that house.
Sure. Swag.
Getting a cave.
Now Zelgadissan can go through Bumper Cave. Have a shortcut.
Yeah,
Nice red area.
Like, I can see that he does that. He can save his mirror there and check the connector to hopefully get hook shot. To may get another zip to the same space here that he is, but he is gonna check it right now.
Dr. Marty finally finds a thing of interest, which is to say a dungeon.
Dungeon with 2 small keys and a potion to do a mimic a potion glitch is good. That's a lot of items, and we like items.
Are you sure?
Oh, that gives us the fire dot as well, so that's probably another reason why Sega did that so early. Yeah, and we skipped that Sega. Wait, Sega? I see a new Sega here. Wait, why? Why?
He's not in chat to shout at him about not doing this. No.
Sega! Since when are you dipping Eastern?
Apparently, it's in such a bad spot, even Zelgadissan can be convinced to make this dip. A third pod small.
Fine.
Race game Race game left is not a great spot to get back to. So.
Yeah, but it's also not a great place where you want to go back to twice.
Fair. You're already here once. So. You're definitely committed to going back here twice.
Like, I would dip it 100% of the time here, but I thought Sega might have skipped it, but yeah, that is a really awful location. It's hard to skip that one.
I believe do we know what item is on the race game?
It's a fire lot.
Okay, so we don't need that. That's not going to help with Eastern Palace. I was just crossing my fingers that Zelda wasn't going to be full of giant amounts of regret after making the trip.
Okay, and let's get some out of logic items out of pawn.
The bomb throw in for hammering him.
There's not a pot swing in pot, but a cheaty small key. Like, we don't have to put yet. Daggy could technically do the bomb jumps in GT for left side, but they're 1 slow and 2 hard. But we have enough bombs, we have enough health, we could do them.
I like
big key for fire.
I like the 1 bomb there to act as a signpost. Getting the chest on the second side of that U-shaped basement is sometimes a bit of a faff. And so I like Marty giving himself a signpost there in the dark.
Yeah, a glove would be really good here for Dr. Mario to actually get dark world access to not a double connector. But he only has 2 more checks in here.
So the best thing that Marty's found in pod is sword number 1, which is a very good convenience item.
Yeah.
Half magic.
Another good convenience item with half magic.
And
into the dark world we go.
More things to do in the dark world. Do the race backwards, which is an even more difficult puzzle than doing it in the first place. Aga was dead, and then they brought him back to life. So
Aga is more alive than in most of the Crosskeys seeds, but he is certainly not dead yet. It's hard to explain.
Yeah, and he not only logically locks the back to escape, both runners were like too cool for key stealing, and yeah.
There's another connector that we now found cannot lead to hookshot.
Yep. I'm not keeping a full list of connectors. Some runners do have a list of literally every connector in the game.
Yeah, I think we only have 3 left at this point. 4. We have Tier Front, we have the Dark Diagonal connector, we have the Feather Ascension connector, and the Old Woman connector. And one of them has to go to the Bomber Cave.
Has to go to the floating island. Sorry. You're right, and one of them has to also go to the Bomber Cave. So 2 out of the 4 remaining connectors are good.
And that's a one game for Sega. He found the Mario house first.
I wish
Mario
that Hotel Mario % was a mode in Crosskeys. It would be a very silly way to make Festive Rendo or something.
We need actually a Cypher piece in there that can just win on the seed if you find it early.
Yeah, of course. So, how's that for a closet? Lamp?
Yeah, Aga is one more step closer in logic with that lamp. And a sword, so we're actually 2 steps closer to bringing Aga in logic.
And a bow back there. What was the third thing? The third thing was also a trackable item. So,
it's a lamp, a bow, and something else.
Yeah.
The
red meringue. But yeah, I'm pretty happy to talk to Rala. And ZelgaDissan gets a little bit of relief from his angst over dipping Eastern, in that he finds out the Eastern Palace is a pendant. Marty finds the Fairy Ascension Cave, and follows it the long way, knowing that behind one of these connectors is a hookshot. Both runners are quite hoping that it's not the front of Turtle Rock. That would be a terrible place for things to be. So, knowing that Spiral doesn't go anywhere... Oh, he finds it. ZelgaDissan has left behind Spiral Cave for now. It looks like he's swimming over to... shopping.
That's good. Connected to find early. Where exactly was it again? Was north of the Village of Outcast, so Sega might skip it for a longer time. But he might have to do another loop to get the hookshot through all those connectors.
Yeah. That was fortunate for Marty that he chose to go north. And I don't know if the check density going south is enough to justify getting yourself locked out of these. He locked himself out of what, 4 or 5 entrances plus Skull Woods.
Yeah, I guess the main reason they did that was because Fire Dot was bottom on this game, so he could do Skull Wood with the Fire Dot 100%.
Yeah.
Made sense to go south first, but a hookshot, good item to find for Dr. Mario, and he might just find a glove or any glove to get back to the Dark World sooner.
Absolutely. All right,
This
and
game is a best of 1. We are currently in the Swiss stage of the Crosskeys tournament, where we have 8 rounds of Swiss to determine who will make brackets, and all the ones who will get 6 wins in the end will have a chance to make it to brackets. And right now we have 2-4 and 1 runners here, so win is pretty good now. To not, you can allow yourself to lose another game if you win this one.
the 5-1, you're starting to feel pretty confident.
Yeah. And that is another important item behind the connector. We are not done yet.
We will eventually check all of them.
It's interesting that Marty chooses to go into Skywoods before getting Fire Lord. But did he ever check Fire Lord? I'm not even sure.
I'm not sure. I would be half willing to bet the answer is no, just because it feels like something you wouldn't leave behind on purpose.
I mean, it's not too bad to leave it behind on purpose. It's just one instance in the end, which could lead to nothing.
Yeah, and he hasn't yet actually found a way back here, right, to the Dark World. So, other than the tedious connector route, so I can see the argument for this play. Zelgadissan was excited to go get his fire rod, and it hasn't actually paid him anything yet. So, I guess it paid him off Lenmo, but whatever.
Like, the good thing now for Sega might be that he finds the other connector that leads to the glove, and then finds the other connector that leads to hookshot. And we find yet another pod small key.
There's no shortage of them. Zelda-san cannot get to catfish with his current loadout. So
yeah, you need one glove to get to catfish.
Can you right to left current jump?
No, there's no way to getting out of the water. And that's our hydro cut small key. So the runners are bailed out to not do. How's it called?
Back mistake.
I got tower.
And the next chest was the Eastern Palace big key. So Marty, when he eventually gets to Eastern, won't yet have the bow, but we'll see if he's interested in dipping.
Like, he comes up to clear GT here. Like, I can see him full clearing the bottom of GT or the left side before getting the fire lord.
The middle of the castle is a Ice Palace big key, accessible with the cape. It's always nice to see the cape actually doing something. Half Magic was in Odd Dark Maze.
There's the Maya. Another important one.
Yeah. Right, and now having checked Dark Witch Hut in the pyramid, it looks like Zelgadissan is going to finish his route in the pod area, which feels a bit long way around for a shortcut, except that you have to remember that actually getting to the pod takes forever. Looks like both runners making this eastern tip. I wonder.
We see one more item for Dr. Marty outside. He gets to clear the big chest.
I wonder
if that is something important, Sega might not be going back there
forever
in a long ass time.
I mean, he does have the bow, and it is the green pendant, so it's not quite as dead as it might be.
I would like skipping Eastern here because you don't know if it's pendant or crystal, and you only need one bow to clear it, and there are two fine in the game. I like the skip more than the ALttPR on Marty's side.
The big key makes you less interested in coming in here. Zelda finds Pod has the same collection of 3 keys that Marty had.
Marty had 2.
Okay, that's fair. Did he find a 3rd one in here?
Did you find a cheat smoking, I think, in the back?
Okay.
So Sega could open one more chest if he chooses to.
Both runners making the choice to open the front door.
Now the boots in Easter Palace big chest.
Nope.
Almost. It was on that item.
I would argue that the item most like boots are the flippers, but you know, I may be too serious about what like is like means. We'll see if Zelga's interested in lighting the torch here. Oh, he's got a lamp too. He's got a lamp and a fire rod. What luxury! Doing dark rooms when you can see them. You want to practice that. And you can tell that the runners have now done all the shopping that they're interested in doing. Both of them, I think, being a little bit careful to avoid picking up rupees, which takes like a lag frame per rupee or something, Schultzer?
I heard that you have more lag frames if you have more rupees for every 100 you pick up. But
Okay.
I think Andy told it in his recent theme, so don't take it from me. No, 999 is better than 1000. You only get more laggy if you pick up more rupees.
Alright, Marty making the play back into GT. He hasn't yet gone left here. He gets the news about the ice rod. And this is now with 3 keys and the required items, mostly all in logic. I believe double firebar room still isn't, but he's going to do it anyway because you never actually need the 4th GT key for anything unless you are real dumb. So.
Okay. I'm stupid, and I got corrected by chat that 999 rupees are worse than 1000 rupees because you just add up the digits, and behind the digit you're more likely to have lag, I guess. It's weird. Don't care about it.
That is some grade A coding by Nintendo. Because I can't imagine how they possibly did that, if that makes sense. I assume it's like a lookup table for the digit graphic or something.
I have no idea.
And yes, vanilla capped out at 999 rupees.
Just in time to hookshot to the pod before the bomb exploded.
Good to see Shady in chat, who is, I believe, the 3rd teammate of our 2 runners today in the past league.
Indeed.
So. Alright, let's see if Rando Room has anything exciting.
Another smart key.
Yet more pod keys.
I have a big key. We already found.
Oh, and a glove!
That is good for Dr. Mario. Like, Sega probably has to take the connector chain once more to get hookshot to go get his glove.
Well, that's another one turns up. There's another one somewhere.
Yeah, and we already know where it is. On Bumper Cave. And that's most likely locked behind the glove.
That's fair.
At this point, at least. Like, we don't have much more ends left, I think, that are not locked behind the glove.
Yeah, that's unfortunate for ZelgaDissan.
Okay, we hope that Marty actually remembers to get to the big chest after he beats the boss of the dungeon.
So, Marty's showing off that this mini Homosaur has knockback. And I've actually seen a bunch of runners recently, instead of doing this bomb jump, which is actually a little bit finicky, that gap is narrow enough that you can actually just get the Helmosaur to bounce you across it if you line it up right. Which, if you do it right, appears to be pretty fast. Marty,
you have a cane! Use it!
Marty, forgetting that he has the blue cane, an item not often of use, is going to do this in a very much more complicated way than he needed to, because the blue cane Ice Armor's kill is completely trivial and almost as fast as the bow kill.
It's almost as fast as bow, actually, if you have a consistent setup.
Yeah, it's both easy and fast, unlike this. So, Shady, put it on your notes for after the race. Yell at Marty about Ice Armors.
And don't forget about big chest, which I have a feeling that might happen. And is Sega going to back? He is not going back to the mountain. He is going to check Zelda first.
Yeah, he hasn't done the flipper checks, or hasn't completed his flipper checks, including the island here in Zora area. So, on the other hand, Marty did remember to open that he has the big key in time, and so hasn't mirrored out.
Good.
And Dane makes the valid point that there's a Dark World connector here as well at Whirlpool Fair, which is a shorter set of connectors than the previous set. He is going to check
No,
Dark
I don't think Castle is a good connector to the Dark World. It was in the Light World, the other one was on Darkest Mountain, which led to nothing.
Doesn't that get him to somewhere close enough to get to where he's going?
Not that I'm aware of. He's just here to check the one chest.
Okay. On the other hand, he can make the actual Zora checks. There's 2 items up there. So.
Yeah, and let's check here, which Dr. Mario will probably do shortly after. It's a nice item. Not needed for logical progression, but it's a nice item.
Of course, gets to go all the way to the back with his fancy-dancy Hyrule Castle key. The only key on the tracker that has a giant friendly graphic. Nothing on Zora Ledge today.
Muddy can now much more easily load things in the Dark World because he has a hammer and a glove, so he can actually get into the Dark World without a connector, which is really good.
Really good when the connectors to the Dark World are back.
Especially then.
So it looks like both Zora and Zora Ledge were busts. So.
Wait, where did we find the shovel?
I know. We're on Zelda's long quixotic quest there. And having cleared this area out already, and wanting to avoid the tedious walk back to the Dark World, he's willing to grasp at straws and walk all the way over here for...
I mean, it would have been probably... No. It would have walked that way again. But he's probably going to go to his Skullwoods now. Yeah.
Yep.
Get a soak shot.
And speaking of Skullwoods, Marty found the back.
That's our first quest. No, our second quest of today.
Marty hasn't yet made it around the loop as far as Desert Palace, but we'll clear that out in.
Yeah, that's on. That was on, how's it called again? And the Dark Shopping Mall, and Sega skipped an instance there that he might not go back to. in the entirety of the seed if it's not required.
I mean, having left it behind, he's really hoping that he doesn't have to go back. And with the Hera small key only in hand, we're off to have a coffee break.
Yeah, I think I'm doing all the off checks right now. I don't know what he's looking for. He's probably looking for a glove to get into the Dark World right now. Instead of taking the connector chain. But after that, he has to take the connector chain again.
Yeah. Unfortunately.
That's our first deck system. With another pot. Oh no, it's a Tiasma.
It was an excellent. That was a pretty good fire rod hammer mob fight. Not perfect, but respectable.
Good enough.
Yeah.
And Sega did not get one full magic level. He got 2, but he only used 1.
Well, no need to be greedy.
So I think what Marty could do now, because he just used his portal, like he could have used his portal, like he finds Spider Cave now, he could follow Spider Cave into a light bird, flute back to 7 and take his portal again. But that is one, not of use, because he can just go back to the Dark World with a glove and a hammer, and second, he doesn't follow the Spider Cave.
I don't believe that Marty has seen the exit of Spiral Cave. But don't.
Yeah, he had to. Like that was in K45.
Right. Okay. Sorry, I thought it was in. You're right. Absolutely. Right. The key phrase for getting different music is MSU pack, and it's black magic. And the reason, in fact, that Dr. Marty doesn't have music, which you guys can't hear, is that he has figured out how to make it work. Now I also have it. So,
it's as easy as putting on an emulator, downloading the seed, renaming a seed, and putting it in a folder. It's that easy.
Like 3 more steps than I usually do.
But yeah, to get MSU packs, you have to follow this Discord link here right now that I posted into the chat. That will lead you to the official link to the past Randomizer Discord, and there's one channel called MSU1. And there's a list of instructions that you have to do, but if you have any problems, people are normally there to help you out. Just wanted to throw it out there.
And I would say that most of the runners in the tournament at this point are using custom music of one kind or another, because you can only put up with vanilla Link to the Past music for so long. So
yeah, and if you're playing Zelda, I know you wanna have another MSU pack because you're listening to the Sanctuary music a lot longer than you usually do. And Sega finally gets his hookshot.
And he is very happy about that, I'm sure.
Not that happy that he finds it right now, but happy to find it.
I guess relieved to have found it finally. But I'm pretty sure we'll feel behind. So we'll see if Zelda does some high variance type stuff to try and catch up.
That's not usually how Sega plays, but we will see.
Yep. I mean, that's the game theoretically correct thing to do, but it's not necessarily easy to deliberately gamble. And he might not feel far enough behind to justify.
Yeah, and what do we need for Go mode eventually? We need boots for ISOT if TR is gonna be a pendant. We need Somalia if Maya is gonna be a pendant. We need maybe a season big key. We sure need a pot big key. That's the only big key we know about that we have not seen yet, and we definitely need.
And we also need at least 2 dungeon entrances, which might be locked by any collection of nonsense. So.
Yes.
including 2 more gloves and boots and so on. So, right. So I missed, or Zelda missed on these rock entrances. This one's.
Oh my! That's another connector that might lead to the glove here.
Yep.
If mids are required, this is very bad for Sega.
Yes. And
there's the other connector. We will find out which one will lead to glove and which one will be useless. Sega wins!
And he's actually going to get a second glove here shortly.
If he chooses to do GT at any point, yes. But he also gets items.
Yeah, I would assume that he'll make his way back to GT at some point.
Chest on 3?
Nope. I think 3 for 4. Maybe 3 for 5. I don't know if he tried the last one. Is this Marty's first trip across North Light World? Huh.
Yes. How many tries he had, JD? He tried at the second chest 2 times, or the third chest 2 times, so he had 5 tries to getting the other one. Wait, there's the other. Wait, what? Where's that connector going?
Yeah.
How would it be that
sorry.
the connector?
This
Oh,
is
that was
connector
in the
that
light
Marty
world.
found. Yes.
Oh, it wasn't in the light. Now it all makes sense. Sega, wait.
Good,
I'm
good,
confused.
good indecision wiggle there.
Suck. He might go back. Nah, he's gonna clear GT now or do hookshot stuff. Yeah, he's going for hookshot cave.
I don't know if Marty just got sucked into the basement. Nope. He's doing the basement first in Tower Fair.
I do think that Shady and I are talking about the same stuff.
Yeah, I think that some of the people are on the same page here, but I think we misplaced some of chat along the way. So apologies to those of you in chat. We were evaluating swag, not utility.
Oh, and Sega goes. Oh, that's another item that Sega's gonna skip. Interesting. Tower Feather big chest.
Yeah. So he might not be deliberately doing high variance things, but
to be fair, I think GT was the better play here than doing Hella first, because it's just so many items and you already have to put GT key. And
yeah.
GT key is such an easy location. But you already checked like 4 items on the left side, so it wasn't that inclined to go back to.
Zelga's Terrapot much cleaner than Marty's so far.
But Marty gets his first side, that's nice enough.
But Marty going straight to the big chest. I like this. I don't know if it's actually faster. But...
Yeah, he actually has to do it if he doesn't have to do punch jump. And another heart piece in the big chest for Marty that Sega's gonna skip.
A very important item that Zelga's has left behind.
Marty's gonna win the hard count. He already is in a big lead by 3. That's more Axista information. The Axista, Moldom, and a map for Maya.
Yeah, we're up to 4 crystals known, which is making these unknowns more and more suspicious. We could not need Kane at this point. No, and there's a bunch of information.
That was TR and Maya for Axista.
Yep.
So let's check home again. We need cane, we need tier big, we need pot big, we need boots.
Boots give us ice rod. Is that everything?
We might need to see some big key. Do not know yet.
Yeah. And then we need to find more. Or I guess no. Marty's found them all. So between the runners, we found all the entrances. We don't need any mid-slot locations or loot-slot locations. At least for themselves, we might for.
Where did we find ice banners? Cannot recall seeing it.
Me neither. But our loyal tracker has marked it. So
we need our attacker to actually give us some information. Hookshot cave. So ice pit is more key to have for killing ice spitters without a key. Without Maria, that is.
Yeah, it helps a bit. Yes, per Marty's tracker, Ice Palace is Dark Lumberjack House.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. Sega had discovered because for the connector and never went back. So there's not much value left in the overbarrel. There are a bunch of 2 chest answers left, like 2, but other than that, there is like almost single stuff. So the value is most likely being in dungeons.
Yeah, and we've got a few that we can make progress in at this point. I'm kind of surprised not to see that progress being attempted.
Where did we find? I think we found the ice palace big key on how's it called, on Hyrule Castle.
Yeah,
like, that's a place Marty might wanna check sooner than later.
Yeah, the pyramid plus mirror over play is reasonably valuable. So.
Maya is an awful tip without cane, but you can always do it. See, some we don't have the big key yet. Yeah, they did a bunch of stuff, and we are docked behind a bunch of stuff by Somalia at this point.
Yeah, and how many items is Marty left behind in Pod? Just the vanilla big key chest?
For the big chest, vanilla big key chest, the harmless hallway, and right. And the boss.
Alright, without the big key, how excited are you to go get those things? It's quite a long walk for not a ton of chests.
Not quite. I would definitely do a full clear of Ice Palace first.
Yes,
but now we will see the back of Hyrule Castle. It was a long talk that we had. Let's see if it has anything important.
Yes, the boots still haven't turned up, and so getting the items via defeating Aga 1 is still not actually in logic. Despite
the logic with Hyrule Castle is more kid than them.
Yes, absolutely. I was just saying that the 2 Aga Tower keys that the game threw at us early haven't yet actually even logically paid off. So,
like at this point, we are not that far off hitting go mode soon. And we just need to find boots and Somalia and like 2 big keys at this point.
Yeah.
Probably see a full clear of ice on Sega's side now. Like he has a big key, a small key, and fire rod.
Yeah, I don't see any reason why he wouldn't. He does have to, do a nice Palace Bomb jump, but
yeah,
he knows how to do that. Alright, here's the checks to the back of his skin. Is there anything here?
Not a
That's
sword.
kind of a thing. Book.
Good and can be good. And the other good is only good if you don't find the other good. So if Zelda finds another sword and book is useless, he never has to go to backup escape.
Yeah. If you're Marty, are you chasing that book, or are you just gonna get them when you're in the vicinity?
I don't think you have to chase the book constantly, but you might want to get those book checks in allowed. But he hasn't much incentive to go to Ether Tablet, and Bobo's Tablet is kinda out of the way as well.
Yeah, like neither one of them tablets like really comes up that naturally. Like the best thing to route Bombo's tablet in with is like purple chest turn in, and
what we don't need, but we might have to find is the dam.
Yes. Well, we do. Yeah. For Pendant Swamp. Of course, the dam can be somewhere dumb like GT and just lock us out of Swamp forever. So.
Okay, we have another thing of one Thunder skips the big chest and the other one doesn't. This time it's Marty in Ice Pit.
Marty gets the news about the mitts on Bumper Ledge.
Yeah, before he had the knowledge about the glove on Bumper Ledge, but now he also has the knowledge about the mitts. Which is pretty ridiculous. Like, we're skipping 3 big chests in the sea for one Thunder or the other.
I feel like that's not super uncommon. ZelgaDissan missing the tongue grab there, which doesn't matter, but amused me. Trying to save a frame or two by pushing down as quickly as possible, and gets to pay a frame or two instead. Nice pen gator room by Marty there.
Okay. Let's... The next item the Zelda finds is not important. Or next item after he finds the next item. Because that item can Marty not get presently, because he doesn't have the big key.
So at this point, which of these runner's positions would you rather have?
I think Marty is in a slight lead here.
Okay. And why? Why is that?
I just have a feeling he has done more stuff, but it's not clear.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. Of course, Zelda might get away with not ever doing that stuff. This is one of the ways you catch up in Crosskeys is just by not doing the useless stuff. But we'll see. This community is full of trolls. Has anybody made a troll sprite?
So a Mordom sprite exists, I think, Dorm, but it's
unplayable.
Almost nice for Stefan Tiger.
Yeah, that was going well, and then it wasn't. But as far as fastest sword Coalstar fights go, that was actually pretty clean. Marty will get there. Oh, that's crystal information, so we don't need the Thieves' Town Big Key.
That's good to hear. That puts us in almost... It puts ourselves closer to go mode.
So now we just need Boots and Cane.
And
the pod
big key.
Oh, sorry,
And
two
the pod
big
big key.
Okay. So still 4 things, which is not an insignificant number of things. And as always, when you see a boots locked item early in the seed, it seems like the boots like to hide for quite a while.
Yeah, hopefully Muddy will choose to get his mids and his silvers after doing ice. Because having mids and silvers is nice.
I think that those things
could lead
take time.
you to item progression.
The odds aren't great that the mids lead to progression at this point. But there is still a few mid-stock locations out there, as well as the Smith chain.
Yeah, it just makes outing a little bit more easier. Have you found this? Where exactly is this mid location? I cannot recall seeing that ever.
Yeah, me neither. But apparently we just missed it because it's at northwest of Lake Hylia. The shop there.
Ah.
Birdie is being polite enough to stream his door tracker, and he's also being polite enough to stream it large enough that you can actually read what's on it.
Nice. Wait, why is Sega dropping into Ansys? I guess it's faster.
No, he hasn't gotten these checks. It was the wrong way around, I think. That's the Eastern Big Key for Zelda, which he's not excited to find.
Okay, Sega, if you now open that... Okay, he goes for the key in the other room. Like, I was like, if he now opens the other door and gets his Skyward Tomorrow key out of the big chest,
yeah.
completely dumb.
If you're gonna go up and then come back down again, isn't it faster to open the chest on the way down through the room to the left of the pinball room?
I would say yes, because you don't have to work. You have to walk around less blocks or less holes.
Yeah. And then
I will not see why it is faster to open it first.
Yeah, I mean, part of it's just delayed gratification. Some people are bad at it.
They use a shovel.
Yeah. We'll see if Marty actually gets around to going and digging up nothing in particular in a bit.
Oh, Marty skipped getting his mids here. Could be important.
Yeah. We shall see. Looks like he's interested in walking into the pod entrances.
Walking in the pod and walking to the pyramid to get his ice palace key after you cleared ice palace. Always good times.
Yeah, nothing like some regret. We'll see if he heads to the pyramid first, or yeah, looks like it. He can always flute back over here and bonk back into the dark world pretty quickly.
So Sega now only needs items. He found all the dungeons he needs for go mode, so he might choose to now go for dungeon checks instead of the your world after Skywoods.
Yeah. On the other hand, he doesn't have a ton of dungeons he can actually do anything about.
He can clear GT, at least.
He can, yes.
To get his... mostly nothing?
Mostly nothing. I mean, he can go upstairs in GT. Which, oh, speaking of which, our restreamer, Mizurio, has thrown in the shout-out commands in the chat. But most importantly, I would like to shout out Brev, who is tracking for the very first time this evening. Appears to be doing a good job, so thanks to the new volunteer. And a hammer moth kill for Zelda.
So so Sega's next step has to be GT at this point. But what is Marty gonna do after? Needs to find Maya at some point, which is somewhere in the Dark World at the top of Hyrule Castle. I can't remember stuff, which is actually going to do right now.
Yep.
To clear, most likely. So we might find something in Maya, like a vanilla cane. I would not be too surprised about that one.
Yeah.
I mean, our progression is most likely being in either Maya or GT climb at this point.
Yeah, if you're Zelda and you go left here and find nothing, which we know is going to happen, are you going straight upstairs?
Yes. It puts you at Hyrule Castle, which is the next logical point. It gives you an item in the drop down. It gives you 4 items on the climb. And you don't have other good checks to do that now.
It's not your favorite thing to do, but it's the least worst option.
Basically, yes.
Sounds about right.
Oh, Sega also has the blue boomerang, which is not much on attacker, so blame our attackers again.
Yeah,
for not having the most important item tag. But yeah, our attacker is doing a fantastic job here. Shout out to Bleve and Dane.
And both Dane and Schultz are, of course, actually both track and do commentary on a regular basis. So they know how to click buttons, how to talk, and how to not talk. I've tried tracking, and it turns out that sitting and not talking for 2.5 hours, it's not something I'm good at.
Yeah, I mean, I can complain more about Zanda's choices, but nobody is listening to me.
Ah, excellent, perfect.
Oh, there was to use his Heather big key in GT. That was also important. Oh,
but
not important.
Like all of these fetch quest big keys, the runners might be tempted to go back and fetch them, especially if they feel like it might be important. ZelgaDissan sets up the bomb skip on the warp panel there the second time. He's usually cleaner than that. I feel like ZelgaDissan has made more execution mistakes this seed than I usually see from him.
He wanna give his teammate a chance.
Well, and his teammates staying up late if I understand where various people live correctly. So, I believe
Marty is from Ireland.
Yeah.
Don't know where Sega is exactly from.
Right, and with a bunch of things out there, Dr. Marty is willing to sit through this delightful cutscene. Alright, so we gave Marty some stick for a poor Burna fight earlier, and by poor Burna fight, I mean he didn't even try using it. But that was not the cleanest Silver's Icing Rose either. Alright, that's a whole lot of nothing for ZelgaDissan on the left.
Yeah, and he decides to climb. I'm not surprised to seeing it here.
Yeah, Tim's walking back here later too, right? Like, you're already here. It's not going to get better.
Yeah, and you have a lot of small keys. That some stuff in the climb is actually logic clear, and the top one is not yet a logic, but you don't care about logic if you're only missing one small key for GT.
Yeah. Yeah, I think like mentally you just add one to your GT small key count at all times because the middle door is, I feel like you could very easily just modify the ROM to take that door out and it would change nothing at all.
Okay. So Marty has not found anything yet in Maya, only has 3 more checks left in here. So GT climb might be the place where we have to go. So we do not need a map with cupboards.
Oh.
And that's another useless map. Wow!
The fire dip has not worked out super great for Marty. Zelgadissan's getting beat up a little bit on the gauntlet, which is kind of the purpose of the gauntlet, but he'll get through.
Okay. So now we have 5 more checks here in GT, and all other checks are garbage. Or hard to get, basically.
Yeah.
Let's see if Marty is probably going to get his glove right now. He actually hovers over the village entrance, so he probably goes left first. I can see it into the future.
I don't know if Marty has done Catfish yet either. It's an area that is reasonably
Nobody has done
nearby.
Catfish yet.
Yes. And would be a logical thing to do next.
Yeah. It's like the same reason Sega skipped Ice Palace for a while. Like, he found a connector leading to Ice Palace, and that led to the Dark Shopping Mall, and Marty got turned away from Catfish because he found a connector in Dark Shopping Mall. And he also gets this nice hype cave. Let's see if he goes for swag turns. Oh, we never checked the mush either.
No, we have a hacker for that.
We have 20 arrows on the climb.
Are you excited?
Not yet.
Are you happy to have done this?
Still not excited. Oh, Marty lost his portal, so he had to go back again.
Oh dear.
He's going for Catfish.
Yeah, but now he has to walk the long way around. Probably will check King's Tomb as well.
They're not excited.
Alright, now we're down to killing Agatu for 1 item. And at this point it's the teleport to the top of the castle too. But.
Yeah, let's see if Sega chooses to do Maya before checking the top down. I don't think he would do it, but he could do it. Yeah, we need items, and Catfish could be one of them.
Yep.
What do we have left? We have the Ice Palace Incense, we have Hammer Packs, of course it's Mist Chain, the book checks. That's almost it at this point.
Yeah. I think there's some checks that one of the runners has done, but not the other. Like the pod main entrance that would still use up some time on one side or the other, but that we the commentary team hasn't seen. We're not down to.
It feels like we have a lot of single off checks that one person has done and the other one didn't. Like for example, Eastern Palace. One has not done the big chest, but the other one has not done the boss.
Yeah.
Bit more incentivized to go into Eastern Palace for Sega than for Dr. Mario, but let's see what Catfish gives us today. Is he good or bad? He is bad. Double scam. He will.
And, we know this Zord check isn't going to pay off, but this is nice routing by Doc Marty. The Sherman and the powder will have check marks if and when they actually get turned in.
Oh, Bucknut!
Yes, it's a trackable item.
Bucknut!
Forget to read about that whole time.
Worth GG climb. How can you say no to the Bucknut? And then Marty can choose to do stuff outside of GT and say it's not GT climb, and we'll be getting the water fill. Like either he does GT climb now or he does everything else before GT climb. I would imagine.
That seems like a reasonable argument.
Oh,
So-
Hype Cave. Spike Cave, not Hype Cave.
It's Spike Cave, much less hype than Hype Cave usually, and still today. And with no boots, we get to walk out of here spinning around our burner like a chump.
Okay. So Marty is probably not going for cheating time for a long time. Like, if he goes for ancestors checks now, I don't think he will go for GT climb before checking Smith and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, if you're chasing the mitts, you might as well keep at it.
And Sega has to do the useless
Mr.
Maya.
Yeah. All right. So while ZelgaDissan is busy doing nothing useful, we can watch Marty maybe do something useful. Oh, except he's going to pod main entrance, which we also know is useless. All right.
So we got some useless time on our hands.
Yes. So, Schultzer, talk about what's going through these runners' minds. If you're these runners, are you starting to get worried? Are you starting to question what you should do next? What are you thinking
I'm
about?
getting worried about doing GT climb for nothing on Sega's side, so I probably would skip something like Maya cutscene at this point.
You wanna gamble a little bit?
Yeah, especially if you don't have also Maya's marquees, it's not even a logic. And even something like not doing on chess can save you like a minute back. Like, I would take a little bit more of this because of the unnecessary GT time. Like, not entirely like, oh, I now lost this game, because the other one is more likely to do it than you do it at the same time, because all other checks suck. And for Dr. Mario, it's do I do a GT climb or do I do other stuff? And now he does other stuff. He probably wants to find like the dam at this point to go into Swamp Palace, which is totally reasonable. So
Yeah.
I just hope he doesn't do GT climb now. He does GT climb now. Or he does not. He does.
Is
That's
paradox
Pat's
connected?
cave. But we already found. Wait, where does it lead?
Leads to
Oh yeah, he's going for Swamp Palace at this point. Yeah, is on Ask Crystal, also for him.
that's full info for both runners.
Can go into TR, can check 2 checks here, which will lead to nothing.
Look at all
He's
these
doing the
useless.
long time-wasting checks.
The lack of pain does mean that he can't get distracted by reversing Turtle Rock. Though I don't. We never did find the. We did find the front, right?
I can't recall finding. Could have found it already. I have no idea, to be honest. I would have said yes, we've seen it already. Also, he doesn't need all the keys at this point.
Yes, we did see the front. It's in Kakariko even. Is why we saw it a long time ago. I also have a door tracker going, but finding.
So what is Sega doing now?
I quite like the Dunker tracker, but actually I find figuring out where things are on it, the labels are quite small. And
Yeah, he's
sorry, go ahead.
volume checks. Like, they probably want to find a dam.
Yeah, I
They can always check pad, but they cannot get pad. And that's probably Smith Chain now. Yeah, that's Smith Chain for Marty. Like, he If it's not Eastern Palace, Marty has the lead at this point, I would say. Because he has the book and Zelda doesn't. Zelda goes to Hythe Castle, which leads to...
Marty's had the book for a long time. It hasn't actually had anything with it yet. It's worth noting.
Yeah, it's really hard to say who has the advantage at this point. Like, Sega gets his book now, while Dr. Marty checks all the off answers at this point, and he probably last locates a dam. If it's... Yeah, it has to be behind Hammer Packs at this point, so Mid's probably the quiet in the seat. Mids have to be the quiet in the seat.
Yeah, that's a fair point. The dam could be in the pyramid crack, and they could
behind boots.
Could be, behind the boots, and it could be at Genna's Tower. No, we got spattered at Genna's Tower. Can't be at Genna's Tower.
Oh yeah, OTR mate. Like I forgot all of those.
There's a fair number of places there.
And we get a pet check.
Yeah.
That could also be really important, but it is not.
Head type over.
Like, Dr. Mario cannot go into GG now. Like, you either do it first or after doing off checks.
You never have it in the middle of your priority list?
Rarely. It should only be in the middle of your priority list if you find something stupid early and feel ahead. And then you're like, what can I do that the other runner... Where can I get... or where can I view my advantage even more? But I don't think any runner feels in the lead at this point.
None of them is trying to make risk-averse plays, risk-reducing plays.
Oh, and Marty going for Eastern. Okay.
A bold play. It is 2 items.
It is.
And Zelda chasing the book. See if this first book check is something useful. 20 whole bucks.
What happened with Sega's slide? With the tablet? That looked weird. There's only 2 items for Marty because he opened the big chest earlier.
Yeah. Marty did a big key no bow dip, which doesn't have.
Oh, Spider Cave!
We're supposed to have left behind since forever.
Yeah, imagine that are boots. That could be. I didn't like it, skipping it in the first place.
Yeah,
but...
I agree. I certainly don't agree with having left it behind forever. On the other hand...
Fuck!
Oh no, that item is worse than useless. And,
can see less of Zelda's slide, oh no! You only see a big fat shield now.
Where is Zelda off to?
Maya main, with nothing.
Yeah.
Like, I'm surprised that not a single runner did check TR at any point. Like, I tend to skip it like 1 or twice, but I ended up on the Darkness Mountain like 4 times.
Yeah, you'd think you could walk around the corner and check what the medallion is, but...
Okay, like, we don't have that much checks left. Both runner did leave some checks behind in early dungeon, but we saw all the items between the different runners.
Yeah. This, I think, is Zelga's either Smith Chain or Eastern, or both. The Saha location. They've certainly seen Saha. It had a whole bunch of stuff. It's in the Dark World. Marty may write that in.
Oh, Sega not even going for such a nut, just straight up going for Swamp Palace. Like that other skip that I mentioned.
Yeah, I mean, the Marty's chasing items. Dog is chasing entrances.
Oh, it is Swamp Palace.
And the cane in the dam.
The cane.
All right.
Okay, so you gonna clear Maya.
Yep.
What do you actually do? Maya is still to clear. It's only one item.
I think the first thing you do is you flute to dam and check the sunken item, see if it's relevant.
Sure.
By the way, in terms of routing, Marty should have actually picked up the smith before doing Eastern.
I don't think that mattered. Oh yeah, we have also side GT. Because you have to go up there anyway. If you wanna grab the pub just after.
Yep. Is the last 6 GT checks. Last.
Smith is saying new challenge order here today.
Fortunately, he's immune to wall masters.
Yeah, and he's adding more lag while he's doing it.
Like the tile room strat.
For a hard piece, so we are even on hard pieces again, on hard.
It is, yeah.
Hard containers again. Would have known.
That
thing hard pieces that Marty picked up in big chest. Like that and Kiathon are the best checks we have, and it's not a damn item.
Damn item. Interestingly, Marty picked up the having turned in the smith already. Picked up the purple chest after finding Kane. He's going to drop that off and then presumably go back to doing Kane things.
And that is mission not required.
Yeah.
Like you could just do Swamp Palace at this. Swamp Palace in the Dark World. Swamp Palace is in the Dark World. They could have done it after designing the dam. Like it's 10 items at this point. You found a cane, yes. But cane is not the best item to find. I mean, boots are probably better than the cane.
Yeah.
Cane doesn't open very much.
I mean, it opens the first 3 items in Turtle Rock. It opens Vitreous. And that's about it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Sega probably goes for Maya first. Oh no, he goes for TR first. Makes sense. He goes for Swamp Palace first. I am a liar. I am a dirty, dirty liar.
I mean, I think you listed all of the possible places, one after the other, and eventually you were correct. Which, I think is a common sportscaster technique, so you could be a professional.
I like Swamp Palace play here. Like, there basically there almost has to be something in. But we haven't seen, how's it called? The Sergeant tournament, like the Independent tournament, did we?
It's no, we haven't. It's
it's
near
the
Dark Lake Valley.
House, I think.
Yeah.
Like if I would be Dr. Mario, I would check it like on my
Pretty
way to
aggressively.
Maya. Like I cleared Easterfest. I want to know what's behind Easterfest. Because that Easterfest could have been easily that thing that could make a part.
So the argument for doing Mire before Swamp is you definitely have to do Mire.
Maya is slow.
Yeah.
And don't has items.
Sure.
And we like
But-
items.
And if the items that we find are the boots, we can get back here much faster. So
I don't know why Sega chooses to do Swamp Palace over TF Like, TF has almost the same item density like Swamp Palace, time-wise, and it's in a light world, and it could give you like a dungeon that you could clear. It's not Maya and not awful to get.
yeah. But I mean, Mire, having already cleared out the rest of Mire, this is effectively a go mode Mire for Murdy. Yeah, I mean the thing that would make this faster is boots, but
Especially the walk to Maya. If Maya would be in a not awful place,
Yeah.
there's more reason to do it. But Maya is in an awful place.
and you've already cleared, or Doggo's already cleared Ganon's tower.
And one item does get you anywhere close. It could give you the pot big key, which could lead to boots and TR big key. Technically, but most likely not.
Yeah.
And if you find TR big key, it hasn't that much of a use without the AI sword, and with boots you don't have that much of a use because you have found a TR big key.
We haven't checked Crystal Roller Room yet, which we could use the big key to get to, as well as the TR big chest. But we're not excited by that. But 4 items at
Left
swap.
side today not required.
Another thing that is not useful.
I don't like skipping the south chest and the big chest before doing left side swarm. It could be that like 2 of your remaining combo items are just sitting there, and then you do left side and feel stupid, even though you need the items.
Yeah, I think with there's enough items left in the world that doing left side swamp is correct. It's just objectively correct. So Marty,
I just don't like doing it first. Doing the other check. I would like to see south chest and big chest first, but that's.
so I think if you're gonna do all of the things, doing left side first is fastest.
It's fastest by not by a lot. Like probably around, I would guess, like 10 seconds.
Yeah, yes, it's not faster by a lot, but if you're gonna do them all, it is the fastest way to do it. So, and we've certainly seen ZelgaDissan make plays for minor route optimizations, making those sorts of assumptions. So. Beanstown
That's
Big,
the
which is
wrong one!
not the one we wanted to find.
Crosskeys every time does the same stupid things, giving us the wrong big key. Sega's
There's
probably gonna follow the big key here.
four more items we can go get.
That's always the thing with Pendant Swamp Palace. It's always garbage.
We need
Yeah,
pod.
big key and pot big key and boots.
Now we know this is not a pedestal seat, but I don't believe ZelgaDissan knows that.
Sega does indeed not know it. So let's see what's in TR. Like I would have that is the thing you should do before playing Swamp Palace. Even though it's just for a single arrow. The thing is,
Yeah.
like Swamp Palace is slow, and Swamp Palace is even slower without boots, and I hate Swamp Palace without boots.
You were very excited for ZelgaDissan to go into Swamp House a few minutes ago. There's the boots. that's a third of our puzzle. Unfortunately, it opens up a whole bunch of checks that might be the remainder of our puzzle. That's hard required pendant swamp.
And not require TR.
We might need that bombos for the TR main entrance yet, but be surprised.
Yeah, if Dr. Mario chooses to do GT Climb here, it's over.
Yeah,
this game is over. I know he does side.
Yeah, I think the right side.
I have a feeling that if the pendant is nothing, that Sega has like a 4-minute lead right now.
Yeah, I'm still kind of surprised that Marty hasn't routed in the Sahasrara, the green pendant turning. You know, he cleared Eastern Palace for 2 items, then never claimed one of them. So.
Now it's a good time for Sega to do Maya because he has boots and he gets to check the mushroom turn on the way.
And assorted rocks of bonking. Rocks of bonking. The boots don't open up a ton of entrances, but do open up a few.
Yeah, the thing is we don't like entrances here because they're at most like single chest locations. I have not the count what we actually found. I just know that we don't have 5 chests of the locations left in the game. And he's collecting his item, of course, because we need it to finish the game.
While we're here, we might as well pick it up. 27 out of 27. Yeah, I'm not running all over the world to open up bonk rocks as aggressively as possible, but I'm not turning them down if they're in the vicinity, I guess. Of course, regular bonk rocks, the ones in your sank, are not actually ever on your route if you have the flute in the light world. So,
Marty goes for Swampernis here, and if he skips Swampernis, this is still a really close race, and I can see him skipping Swampernis. Like, he knows he's against Sega, he probably knows he has the execution disadvantage, and he knows that he had to do at least some skips against Sega to actually win the game. At least at this point. Because he has checked all of the game.
Zelda, bonk rocks 1, nothing. Bonk rocks number 2.
That's my shit.
My shit. 2 whole items. I mean, they got flute and boots after you were done the seed, Goomba. So don't complain too loud.
Stop complaining. You had a sub 140. Or what's it, sub 140?
It was 141 almost. Or something.
Stop complaining. It's not time to complain right now. You had a seed where you don't have to do any or at least not have to do some pendants.
Right. I mean, more relevantly, where the only thing you needed gloves for was to win.
Wait, did you need gloves? I think you only needed fire, source, and Maya.
No, the gloves were required exactly to pick up the rock in front of the tomb in graveyard to get it. The only gloves check in the entire game.
Oh my god.
Yes, they knew the gloves were hard required super early, and then they turned up, right at the end of the game.
Oh, and Dr. Mario skip left that spawn. That's good for him.
Yeah, and that's the sort of decision he's not going to run the takebacks on him. So that's a minor catch-up.
I mean, he gets the boots, he gets one suggestion item, but if both are going into Port at this point, into Seastone, he's still behind grabbing the, how's it called? The ice.
Alright, you're, that Canis Maria thrown into the void, or block thrown into the void there. Set up Spooky.
It's a harder Spooky than usual,
Yes.
but it's more spec to get it. Because it is harder. And you can do it in the second room even, or the third room, so to speak. But that is also harder than the other one. Because you do it like so rarely.
I mean,
Oh, you can set it up from the bottom. Oh, I have to ask Sega how he sets up this one. Need to know.
He does it exactly like that in almost every Crosskeys race where it's relevant. So it seems like it's pretty consistent, and yeah, it's swag and it's save time. And I can't even explain how it works. Goomba's race earlier today had the totally absurd final completion of 138 items.
So I would say Sega is more check, but it's almost even at this point.
Yeah,
Probably gonna check Season here.
Thieves Town and the inconvenient chests in Turtle Rock are left to get, I think.
That and the book check.
Yeah, get Ether
top
in the
of
way.
the mountain. Like instances are not entirely useless. I don't think we have seen the second ferry.
Astonishingly, neither one of them, I think, got back to King's Tomb, but it's just somebody's house.
Yeah. Muddy got back to King's Tomb.
Yeah. Alright, this seems like an opportune moment while Zelga's running through the boring part of Thieves Town to ask you, Schultzer, what's today's over-under number on completion for the winner?
Let's see. A 189?
And a half? I was right earlier that we better pick a half number.
Okay, 189 and a half.
All right, I will ask our delightful French restreamer to set that up.
I'm not sure if we reached the 90s yet, but it's gonna be close.
I think I've seen over 200 so far is in this tournament, and then the 130, 138 from Goomba earlier today is the lowest I've seen in this tournament, but that's an absurd total for Crosskeys.
Yeah, at 200 I only see from True Ninja, because he is always picking up every item.
It requires both a bad seed and thoroughness to.
Hey, come on, game. It cannot be not Seas Town. Oh, it could be.
And they're both here. Oh.
We needed one logically, but we don't need it one.
No.
Yeah, about that green pendant turn-in, by the way. Might be important.
Yeah, I'm still astonished that Marty's not interested in turning that in. that feels like a mistake at this point. And at this point, if he goes and turns it in and it is something important, he gets to feel dumb because he's had it for 15 minutes.
But if it's something important, he's probably ahead. If he checks it before doing all the other stuff he left behind.
Yeah, he gets to feel dumb, but it's still faster than Zelda did it.
It's not the sound. We don't even need a pendant.
Nope.
Marty could skip it, but saving credit has no use because you want to check the book after. So he probably should have done the book before going into the sound. Because he could have done saving credit out of the of the autumn animation, which would have been a little bit faster. But I don't know how much.
Can you mirror out of the
No.
The pedestal animation? Or the pendant animation?
I'm pretty sure you can't. I think you can only do it if it's a pendant and it's a Lightfoot dungeon.
Right. Keep your tablet?
Not surprised. But a pot big key. So for Dr. Marty, we hope it's not in pot, and for Sega, we hope it's in pot. Otherwise, I think Marty has a good chance of winning here. Because otherwise, Sega has to do Eastern Penance. Or TR. Existed Zelda Zoom, which is stupid because TR Bag is in a stupid place.
I mean, this is the obvious trail of breadcrumbs to follow. Right, they've been looking for this big key for a while.
Oh, Marty skipped the big chest, did he? The big key. That feels bad.
It was in the big chest?
No, it was on Lisa tablet, the big key.
Oh, right. Yep, that feels bad. That feels terrible. If he wasn't already losing, that's a good way to become losing more.
Yeah, I know why he wanted to save his portal, because otherwise, before Ace tablet he had to lose his portal, obviously. But that could cost him the game here. And yeah, would they have stolen the small key? They could have loaded this in a lot earlier.
I'm surprised that going back into the Swamp Palace is the play that Marty's making, just from a game theory sort of point of view, right? Like you chose not to do this. I guess he's also chosen not to turn in his book for freaking ever. So.
Even though Green Pendant is kind of close, like Sega is gonna clear pot here. He is gonna clear Eastern Pendant maybe, either Eastern Pendant or TR Crystallona, and I don't think there's any much left anymore. The Smoky twice.
Chat makes the point that Marty neither has used his book nor his green pen, and so apparently just doesn't like things that are green.
He used his book once.
Yeah, it's true. But it took him like 20 minutes.
I think that was more than 20 minutes.
Yeah. Alright. So, only needing one thing, ZelgaDissan went straight to Helmasaur, and now gets to do the obnoxious last 3 checks in here. Including Harmless Hellway, is this one. And then presumably faster to mirror out or walk through the middle to get to the vanilla big key chest.
Like this game is over. But what is he? Oh, he's grabbing the ice sword. If he goes for the climb, this game is over. Like then he has no more chance getting back into this game.
Yep. But looks like...
I mean, it's over anyway, but now it's over even.
I mean, that was go mode. So, push the big green button. Go in the game. So, final time of 2:18 or so. Maybe not even that.
Nah, it's lower. It's like 2:16, or even probably even 2:15 because we have such good equipment.
Yeah. And GT is even, or Denon's even in a relatively convenient spot. The answer wasn't the green pendant, but and so that turned out to just be a time sink. We do get to sit through that long animation, but now we are crystal drop.
Yeah, that's definitely at 2:15 here.
Yeah.
I'm still sticking to my 189. It probably is a little bit higher, but I'm sticking to my... I mean, like, to my 189 and a half.
We got the very correct question in chat earlier. What if it's exactly the number that we picked? Which is actually why bookmakers always set over underlines at half points.
But I've said it's lower than 189 or 189 or 198 or higher.
Yeah.
Yeah, all in all, this was a really close race. Like, only like some decisions that Mario chose. He made some good skips, but did not finish his skips in the end, so did not get rewarded by it, sadly. And so therefore Sega is gonna finish again the pick-off here and takes the win.
I am kind of surprised at how long it took either runner both to get the book and the whole play around the back of Escape still baffles me. And then, having gotten the book out of the back of Escape, the fact that it took both runners an eternity to check Ether Tablet. Yes, it's a check that sucks, but it doesn't suck that much.
We certainly have to ask them about what they think was about clearing the front of Hyrule Castle.
Yeah.
Like, I don't like sequence breaking the back of Hyrule Castle, but in this seed, there's always an house spot again. An exception to the rule, but GG to Sega.
GG zelgadissan.
He's finishing with an official time of 2:16 and 22 seconds.
Gotta be precise about these things. And zelgadissan will be joining us in a moment.
Stopping his own timer for the race time timer.
Winner, chicken dinner. Dr. Reddy says in race time, "Oh, thank God, I can end this nightmare." So that gives some context for how Marty's feeling about things.
Yeah, especially in the last like 20 minutes, it's like, why is he gonna finish? Wait, what did I skip? Did maybe Sega skip it as well? I'm stressed out.
Yeah. Right, you will see them in a moment, hopefully. Other than the interestingly dubious routing decisions. I think that was an interesting feat. Welcome, congratulations, ZelgaDissan, on the intra-team race.
Yeah, GG's. Thank you very much.
GG's.
So I guess first of all, what was your impressions of the seed and how you played?
At first I thought everything was going great. Like, I honestly, every single choice I was making on Death Mountain kept paying off more and more. You just get to the right next area and you clear out the whole entire mountain at once. But I got hard baited by that fire rod to go south once I finally got Dark World access, and every other answer was up north, going like to Hookshot Cave, going to the Glove. So I felt like everything was going really good at first, and then once it hit about the middle of the seed, I really kind of lost track of where I thought I might be.
Yeah, we in fact, you and Marty did make the opposite choice about the fire rod. You did get baited to going and picking it up and leaving behind those north entrances. He didn't, which made everything look great for him for a while. Both of you, this is where we question routing decisions. Chose to burn the keys to get down to Zelda's cell, which was blank, and leave behind the back of escape until the sewer's key turned. You want to talk about that choice?
Sure. At the time I did not have the lamp. I had both Castle Tower keys. I knew where Castle Tower was. I felt like the seed was honestly expecting me at some point to do back of escape through Castle Tower. Yep. And since I had all that information, it felt like I should just go ahead and do what I can in the front, especially because I had cleared out the whole other Death Mountain stuff, and I hadn't actually saved in a very long time. So I was thinking, you know what, let's just commit to this. I would rather do that than go deep, grab the key and mirror, and then save and quit and make another trip to the castle.
Well, you could imagine... So, Schultzer and I were both of the opinion that the game was expecting you to beat Aga. There's got to be something back there. Let's just go back there right now. And the sewer's key will turn up sooner or later. And at that point, Zelda's cell will be back in logic. So that's the play that was sort of we came up with on commentary.
Yeah, that's perfectly viable, and it's something I considered, but I was still swordless. I didn't have great weaponry. I came in from a Dark World entrance, so I was thinking it was going to be kind of a pain to get to the back of escape with the situation I was in at the time.
That makes sense. Those dark rooms with Dark World enemies is kind of gross.
Yeah, I wouldn't have said that going to the back of escape there would have been a good idea, but I didn't agree with doing the front of escape, risking that you might have to do Aga for back of escape, because that was really a chance in this lead with already having 2 Aga Tower small keys, and knowing where Aga Tower is. I think you didn't know it at that point, I'm not quite sure. I felt it was too risky to actually just do the front. At least it felt that way for me.
Yeah, I honestly would not have faulted anybody for stealing the key. I just kind of felt like I should just go ahead and commit to what I was doing at the time. And if it burned me, I was totally ready to get burned by back of escape, to be honest.
So Dr. Marty O has joined us in chat. Welcome. I'm sorry that your nightmare arose.
Yeah, that wasn't the most fun in the world, and I knew it was going to get worse and worse the closer GT came into being an inevitability, which made it all the worse that there was nothing there.
Yes.
So, fun.
Thought you might skip to the I'm not doing GT this seed, but in the end you did do it. But just to cheer up, if you would have gone for the port Becky on Ether Tablet, you would not have won by... You would have lost by like 30 seconds or a minute.
Oh, damn. Wow.
It would have been really close if you would have gone for Ether Tablet first instead of clearing the C-Star. Then you would have been ahead, actually.
Yeah, you had a... So, actually, that's the other thing that we were talking about. You guys eventually got around to getting to the back of escape after shenanigans. You guys both actually did the front, burned the key, and we're like, we'll get around to the back sooner or later. And then you guys pulled the book out, and then seemed utterly uninterested in checking the tablets, in particular Ether tablet.
They were very far away.
It was very far away. It turned out it was also the right answer.
Honestly, I feel like Bombo's tablet was the very first check I did after I got the book. It's just the Ether tablet was kind of gross.
I think.
Luckily... Sorry, go on.
Dr. Marty got the book something like 20 or 30 minutes before zelgadissan did. And I think did both the tablet checks after zelgadissan did. So why do you hate reading, sir?
I didn't even get to the Ether tablet, so yes. I was still looking for that key.
Yeah.
But I was luckily able to route in the Bombo's tablet with the purple chest check and also Spiral Cave, because I also hate Spiral Cave. But yeah. So I'm just kind of annoyed now because I lost by doing the play that Zelga should have done. Because, you know, he loves climbing towers. That's your thing, dude. Like,
I promise you, I climbed GT.
You did?
He did.
Oh, damn. I feel much worse now.
The thing that you both did is dip the Eastern Palace. But you went back and actually cleared it, Marty, whereas Zelga has yet to return. He made his one trip to Eastern Palace.
That must have been a very tough decision for you, Zelga.
It was such a terrible spot to get back to. You had to go in there. But out of curiosity, is that where the fourth GT was? Because I was very hesitant to follow the mitts because I didn't have the fourth key.
Possibly, but I can't remember off the top of my head now.
Certainly, you got it from somewhere. Collection rate 190. Schultzer set the over-under line at 189.5. So,
that is some talent right there. Well done.
It was close. I almost went through with 1890, but I think 189 was a good shot. So close.
That's why you guys keep winning.
Because I can guess collection rates. Yes.
I mean, shows that you understand what's going on, which is better than we did earlier.
Skip out on the Independent for that long time after doing Eastern Palace for one check only. Marty?
Sorry, say again?
Why did you skip out on turning in the Independent after doing Eastern Palace for one item only?
Because after I got it, I just thought Sasha is very far out of the way and there's better places I should be going.
Yeah, you could have done Saha on the way to Maya. That was the one thing I could have gotten it.
Yeah, and I thought afterwards what I should have done is fluted to 4 and then walked up that way.
Yeah, exactly.
But I was in too efficient a mode, and I thought, no, flit to 5, that's the faster route over. And yeah, I'm assuming there was nothing there. Actually, we don't know what's there. Oh, hang on. I'm in the vicinity. While we're here.
The TR big key and was in the port big chest, so you would have thought you got more when you check Ether tablet, basically. Also, one thing that exists is a burner armors fight. We showed the money of that after that, because he used fire lord and a sword.
I forgot I had burn. I'll be honest.
Shady was in chat being sad at you. So
I expected that exact behavior.
Heart container, nothing worthwhile.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, we know it's nothing worthwhile. We just, you committed to the Eastern play.
That makes you win the heart container game, at least.
Yes, that's what's important.
That's what's always important.
But yeah, at this stage of the tournament, it's always going to be a tall order to get a win against this kind of tier players, and it's Zelga. Come on, he's just terrifying in so many ways. Awesome dude, terrifying to play against.
I mean, this was obviously a matchup I wasn't looking forward to, having to play Marty. Like, we know each other pretty well and what each other's going to do after playing together for so long. So I felt like if there was anybody who was easily going to be able to play off of knowing what I'm going to do, it's going to be Marty. And
yeah, there was definitely a metagame battle that could have been played there, but this wasn't the seed for it.
Yeah, Sega dipping Eastern Palace.
I didn't want to, but man, getting back there was so bad.
I did really hope that the
Exactly.
big chest had something useful in there. I was so happy that it showed up because I thought this is going to be the difference in the game now. This one dungeon.
Yeah, that was like something that we discussed because Sega skipped the Eastern Palace and the Tower of Hela big chest, but you skipped the Ice Palace big chest. So we know where everything was, but both of you skipped like 1 or 2 items in a dungeon that could have easily made the difference as well.
And were completely useless. Like every gamble you guys made, like maybe this big chest will make the difference. Like 20 rupees. Like
Yeah, Hera big chest was my very next check, but obviously when I got the pod big off Ether Tablet, that was the end of that route.
Yeah.
hit the big go button and call it good. So Marty, you're still alive, right? This is 2 losses now, so you have to win 2 weeks in a row to make the whatever it is,
Yeah,
the big old crown melee for the brackets.
is the cutoff 6-2? Is it or
So 7-1 makes the bracket clean, and 6-2 there will be a 1 race playoff amongst all those players for the remaining spots, and it'll be about half the players on 6-2 will make it to brackets.
So a big Crosskeys says for like 10 players to make 4 places or something like that, or 8, 16 in that ratio.
Yeah, roughly speaking, it'll be the last until we get 16 players. And it'll be some Saturday. So you're still alive. Do you reckon you can win 2 in a row against the rest of the 2 lost players?
I had a good early tournament, so like I'm confident enough in my playing, but this is just a super stacked tournament, so and even the people who end up in the 6-2 bracket, they're still all going to be titans in this mode. So I like my chances, but I won't be surprised or disappointed if I don't make it either. Put it that way.
It's a well-crafted answer, sir. And zelgadissan, you are now X-1, so with 2 weeks to go. How are you feeling about how things are going?
I'm just gonna steal Marty's answer word for word because it's not gonna get any easier from here. Even if at 5-1 now, that could easily become 5-2 and 5-3. So I'm certainly not taking anything for granted here. It's gonna be rough opponents the rest of the way out for the rest of this, the play-in race if I make it there, the brackets. It's never getting easier. So we're just gonna keep going and hope we can make it.
I mean, this 8 weeks of Swiss is enough for the cream to rise, and of course, there's plenty of variance in pairings, but
unless of course your shows are here, who just seems to be in a never-ending god streak and can't be beaten.
Wait, no.
How many weeks? How many rounds of losers bracket do you make it through last year, Schultzer? It was months. I did months of your games on commentary.
I went through the winners bracket, then lost against Violet Pumpkin, and then lost to Hitsu in the next game.
Okay.
I did not have a long adventure in the losers bracket.
Okay. You had a long adventure in the winners bracket, but yeah, I remember.
I beat Sega, I think. Yeah. And that was dumb.
Yeah. I completely orphaned the Stalfos basement of Pod, which had Samaria, so that was a fun race.
For me, at least.
And by fun, you felt really dumb afterwards, which I feel like.
I mean, it's actually interesting because I was able to actually end up go moding a whole bunch of stuff near the end while Schultzer full cleared. So in some ways, I won because I know I was just going forever.
All right.
Yeah, skipping stuff in Crosskeys is the biggest fear you can ever have because in normal OpenSeed, yeah, this is my last occasion. I know it. Let's just get it. But in Crosskeys, did I really check everything? Did I might have even answers behind? Did I check every chest in all dungeons? And then you find Swamp and the Dam in Hammerbex, and they're like, progression. A whole new dungeon is open. Thank God.
I feel like about once a month, I do commentary on a race where an otherwise supremely competent runner leaves a location behind on accident, has completed all the locations in their mind, and is now like, oh God, what did I miss? Scrubbing VODs, looking for mistakes. Where did I leave this dungeon? So it's certainly easy to make really dumb mistakes in this mode. But at least most of the people involved in commentary here, in restreaming, and as well as Dr. Marty, are in Europe, and it's 1:30 here, 2:30 for Schultzer, so we should all go to bed. So if our, I believe also European restreamer, Mizuhiro Fox, would like to lead us out, we should all have a good night.
Hello. So we are gonna end the stream soon. We have a tournament season 4 of Wind Waker soon on ZSR1, and on ZSR2 we have a Zelda 2 Randomizer standard tournament. So if you want to stay here for some Wind Waker, you are welcome. Or if you prefer Zelda 2, we have the ZSR2 online soon. So, any final word?
Good night.
GG both of you, by the way.
Yeah, thank you guys for doing the restream. Really appreciate it. And GG's again to Marty.
Yeah, GG Zelga, and thanks everyone for staying up so late to get this online for us. It was really great.
So I'm gonna say see you next time, guys.